10 years ago, I was kind of in the same situation after I graduated from high school. I didn't have a clue in the world of what I wanted to do next, but I knew I had two choices. I could either move back home to DC with my mom, or I could move to Texas with my dad, which is where he was getting stationed after I graduated high school in New York. And I chose to move back to DC with my mom, partially because I felt kind of sad about leaving her to go live with my dad um, for high school in New York. So I do that, and I enroll into community college, and I didn't have my license yet, so I relied on the public transportation system to get me around between like the gym and community college. And all of that went well for a while until one night I probably stayed at the gym too late, and it was dark, and I got off the bus, and there was a group of people uh, waiting around the bus stop, all with like masks on, and I hadn't been home in such a long time, and my mom lives by a police station, so I was like, there's no way, I'm cool, I'm safe. Turns out I wasn't, and I get approached by one of the people, and he tapped me on the shoulder, and he asked me like, "Hey, do you know me?" And I'm like, "Of course I don't know you. Haven't even been here that long." And he punches me, and at that time, I take off running, and I make it home. I escape. I'm okay. Um, but that experience kind of shook me up for the rest of my time in DC. I was kind of afraid to leave the house for a little while there. So I ended up moving with my aunt, who lived in a little bit better neighborhood than my mom, and I ended up getting a job at McDonald's. I dropped out of community college at the time because I couldn't. Um, so that all that held me over for about a year after high school, so 2012 to 2013, and then until my dad got stationed in Georgia, which is where I went. So I went back with my dad to Georgia, and my dad had a plan for me, which I followed because mine didn't work. So I enrolled into Georgia Southern University. I moved down there, I got my license, and I kind of started to get it all together. And so I'm in school and I'm making the dean's list, president's list like every semester, and I'm doing great. And comes time to apply for jobs, and I only do an interview for one job, and it was this one, GM. And I get the offer, and I immediately accept it. And the first person I call is my mom. She's the first person I call if something ever goes right. Um, and she's so proud of me. I tell her how much money I'm making, and she can't believe it. And when I got my job here, making all this money, and I went to school and graduated college, I kind of became a role model for like my brother, my cousins, um, almost everybody. Uh, Making this kind of money for me, especially like being like single and all that stuff, and then here in Atlanta. Uh, a lot of people, like my mom's, like they're always like, talk to your brother, talk to your cousins, and talk to whoever might not have be on the right path. And I'm like, sure, I'll talk to them, but I honestly have no idea what I'm doing either. So, and I'll never forget the summer before I moved to Alpharetta to start my GM job. I stayed with my mom's best friend, so I didn't have to drive all the way back to DC, and then drive all the way back to Georgia when I started my job. And she had a son named Gary. So it was kind of the same thing. Me and Gary we come from two different sides of the street in terms of like, what we're willing to do to make money and to make ends meet. And I knew I was going to go to school and get a job doing something that way. And he was going to get his money by any means possible. So I was trying to, so we go on a walk around the neighborhood because his mom asked me to talk to him. And, I was trying to say, you know, what's going on, you know, what gets you out of bed every day? What makes you want to do the things that you do? And I was trying to, and in that moment, I realized for a long time that what had gotten me out of bed is I wanted to be able to take care of my mom one day. You see, my mom, she has lupus, which is an autoimmune disease, and stress is a big part of uh, like the triggers. There's a lot of triggers for it, but stress is a big one. So I wanted to always be able to eventually, tell my mom she could quit her job and, come live with me for a little while as she got all her health stuff together. And in that moment, so I was telling him, the reason I had done all these things was my mom. And he was like, you're doing it all wrong. You should be doing all those things for you. And at that time, I shrugged it off because I'm about to move to Alpharetta and make all this money at GM, and I was like, okay. And, I tried to talk to him, but I think some of the things I told him stuck too, and I don't think he'll ever really know how much what he said meant to me, because last June, my mom called me and let me know that Gary was killed in a robbery last June. And I think at that time, as soon as that day, I really realized for a long time that I haven't really been fair to myself here. So I begin to question, what am I doing, what I'm doing now for me, or is it for somebody else? And I don't think that would have happened without a lot of people here at GM helping me get to this point. From everyone, just being yourself in team meetings. I'll never forget Neil Deverman, and he told the worst dad jokes, but they always put a smile on my face on some really tough mornings. I'll never forget Chakri not recognizing me in our first meeting after COVID, because I look nothing like my picture. And I walk in the meeting room and he's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, yo, I'm David. And he's like, "Oh man, David, man, you have to update your picture, man." That's that's probably one of my favorite memories. I'll never forget that day. Um, Somia, Julio, Neville. There's so many people that has led me to this point, to like taking me out of a position where I felt stuck for so long, and just made me believe that I could take this leap and kind of bet on myself here and kind of jump out on faith and know that I'm going to be okay. Uh, Everyone has been like so supportive and so encouraging and telling me, I'm ready for just little things like, you should apply for senior positions. You're ready for this and you're ready for that. And I can't tell you how much that's meant to me in this process, because I don't think I take this VSP. I don't think I get unstuck without you guys. So I just really want to say thank you, because the beginning of this year is the freest I've ever felt. I've felt in a long time. I've done freaking hackathons and gave like so many presentations. I've Toastmasters. Oh my God, I love all of you guys. Uh, I've told stories in Toastmasters that I've never told anyone, including this one. Uh, it's because of all of you that I've been able to break out of my shell so much. Um, so I write this to, or I say this just to say thank you, because none of this happens without you guys. So I kind of just stand before you, not knowing, where my wings are going to come from, and not knowing where they're going to take me. But thanks to everyone here that I met at GM, I've started to feel the wind again. And my mom, she's loved hearing about my time here at GM, uh, from Neil all the way to my crazy uh, Toastmasters table topics and Eugenio's backwards meetings. And I can't wait to be able to call my mom when I get my new job and doing whatever it is that'll make me happy. I can't wait to tell her, look, mama, I can fly. Thank you. I love you guys.